What's up, guys? Majorspect here, back to bring you another video, and this time we're finally gonna be starting the top 10 Pokemon of mine. Oops, and I skipped ahead. That's alright. But first off, we have number 10, which there are a lot of ties in this video, mainly because there are a lot of Pokemon that I really like and enjoy, and I cannot decide between them. So, if you see Salamaster 2018's videos, his is real in depth, and I don't. A, I'm lazy, and B, if you like the Pokemon or want to learn more about it, I suggest you go and look it up on Smogon.com or Cerebi.net. Those are, or even on Pokemon Showdown, if you wish. If you want to learn more about the Pokemon, those are the best ways to do it. And I'm not going to be here and teach people how to use a Pokemon, because that's not really me. Unless I do a specific video where I'm stating this is what I use and it's really effective. But like I said, number 10, Weavile and Gallade. Both Pokemon, as you can see, I wrote it down. Both Pokemon hit extremely hard, but are frail. Weavile, I stated in a previous video. I don't know where it was or what, but Weavile, the more I see him or her, the more I love him. So it's one of those Pokemon that, upon me first seeing it, I just kind of liked it. I was like, oh, this thing's pretty cool, and I've just kind of fallen in love with it. It's a great Pokemon, and it's in OU for a reason. And then Gallade, you know, I liked Gardevoir, but I was always one of those kids who was like, it's like a girly based Pokemon. It's like, if there was like a guy version of it, that'd be cool. And then they came out with Gallade, and I was like, what? This thing only evolves from male Curlias? What? And then I saw it, and I was like, yo, this thing is hype. And ever since I actually obtained a Gallade of my own, I've loved it. And with Oras, its Mega came out, and look at it. Look at Seto Kaiba. Look at Seto Kaiba. He's ready to duel. He will fucking kick your ass. He's got a cape. Capes are fucking baller. Capes are so baller. So, those are the reasons that they are number 10. But on to number 9, you guys have heard me state in multiple videos that I have a 3-way tie for my favorite bug type, and it is dependent on my mood, which one I like more. So, we have Pinsir, Heracross, and Scizor. Widely considered by a lot of people to be the best bug types. Now, Pinsir, he wasn't all that great until his Mega came out, and his Mega was one of the first Megas to jump into Ubers. They since dropped it down to BL and have now moved it back up to OU, where I personally think it rightfully belongs. And Mega Pinsir put in so much work last season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is coached by yours truly. And he's amazing. All he needs is one Swords Dance, and everything dies. Literally everything dies, because he's got coverage moves for everything, and most things are not gonna live. An Aerial 8 ×2 boosted, stab boosted, return with max happiness, or frustration with minimum happiness. So he's just great. And then Heracross used to be one of my favorite Pokemon. Like, I would say top 5 Pokemon. Since new Pokemon have come out and I've kind of used them more, Heracross has kind of filled a role of like, it's really awesome if I got one of these, but it's just like, there are times where it just gets outshone by other Pokemon. It's not all that fast, but it's pretty fast, and then it hits hard and it takes physical hits. But that ×4 weakness to flying types kind of kills it. And then next we have Scizor, who Scizor, sometimes, I'll be honest, there are some times that I honestly forget about Scizor, but every time I see him and every time I use him, I'm reminded of why he is great and why he is one of my favorite Pokemon. The Bug Steel typing is great, and as most bug types do, because of the way bug types are, most bug types have a ×4 weakness of some sort, and Scizor's is one of the more manageable ones. And I mean, just look at all their megas. All of their megas literally scream, "I'm going to kill you." Like, how baller can you get? Like, oh, and by the way, that Pinsir picture that I found, I literally was just gonna use a normal Pinsir, and then I scrolled and found that, and I was like, I love this. Put on your monocles. Very classy. So that's why I chose him. And then number 8, we have Miss Juvia, the Kingdra. We were able to keep her on our team this year, and you know, she puts in work. I didn't use her that much, but when I did use her, she made a difference because that water dragon typing is really hard to get around. You can't, ice isn't super effective anymore. You're quad resistant to fire, you're quad resistant to, you're quad resistant to steel, you are neutral by grass. I do believe electric is still super effective against you, but that's the only weakness that water keeps, and the only weakness that dragon keeps is itself and fairy. I believe those are the only 3 weaknesses that Kingdra has, and those attacks are sometimes hard to come by when Kingdra can neutralize pretty much everything that has those attacks. And it's got I'm pretty sure, except for HP, it has 95 base stats in all of its stats. So Kingdra's a really versatile mon. You can't quite run it as versatile as, say, a Pixie Pokemon, but it's pretty versatile in its own right. Next, we have number 7, being Barbaracle and Jolteon. Yes, once again, we kept Barbaracle on our team this season, and he's a great Pokemon. Like I said here, both are extremely good, but situational. Jolteon, in order for Jolteon to work, you basically have to get rid of every steel type, every ground type in order for him to work. Barbaracle is the same, only it's less typings, being just ground. Just grass and Pokemon that get access to grass type moves. And even some Pokemon that get grass type moves, he can still shine. Barbaracle isn't all that fast. Jolteon is fast. Barbaracle, it attacks hard and is physically bulky. Jolteon is fast and hits really hard. So that's the reason. But their designs, Jolteon used to be my favorite evolution until another one came along, which you'll see later in the video. And Barbaracle, ever since I saw him, I was like, yo, this thing has like 7 hands. No fuck, this thing's baller. He's like, he'll grope you in places where you never wish to be groped. He'll like grab your face with one of his hands, and you'll just be like, what do I do? He's got like 7 of them fuckers. Like, you don't know what hand he's gonna smack you with. Like, he'll just be like, pop, fuck off. His face is a hand. Like, the fuck? This nigga's catching all this shit. You throw a fucking football at him, he'll just catch it with his fucking face. Like, quite literally. He'll just be like, caught it. It's fucking great. I love Barbaracle. And Jolteon, is just a super cool Pokemon. He's an evolution, and he's one of the Pokemon that the internet loves, and for good right. He's one of the best evolutions, and one of the ones that I would be happy to have on any team. But number 6, we're going to go on to the best fossil, in my opinion, being Aerodactyl, and the best electric type, in my opinion, being Eelektross. Now, Aerodactyl is just self-explanatory. He's the OG. He's one of the OG fossils, and he is the best. He's modeled after a pterodactyl, which apparently is not a real dinosaur, but I don't care, because he's fucking baller. I mean, look at him. Look at freaking Aerodactyl. Like, if you saw that thing coming at you, you would fucking run. He looks like he wants to eat your brain. Like, he will eat you and your children. Hide your wives, hide your kids, and hide your face, because he will eat them all. And then Eelektross. You look at Eelektross. First of all, he has Levitate, so he has no weaknesses. He's a pure electric type. What is Electric's only weakness? Ground. What ability does he have? Levitate. What does Levitate do? It makes ground type moves not hit you. Ha. Hashtag bars. Wasn't even trying. But like, he's an eel. It's like, look at him. He's so cool. Like, he just, like that picture, he's like, come and give me a hug, dude, I'm super cool, bruh. And I'm just like, yeah, bruh, come give me a hug, bruh. Like, Eelektross is great. Like, I saw him, and I just screamed, because he's so cool. Like, look at him. He's so awesome. He's literally so awesome. He's great. I love Eelektross. Next, we have number 5 being Malamar and Hydreigon, and these ones are self-explanatory, because once again, Malamar, he's got one of the creepiest Pokedex entries. Hydreigon also has a creepy Pokedex entry. They both look like they want to kill you. So, yeah, like, if I saw Malamar, I would run. He looks like he wants to use his tentacles to smack me upside the face till I die. And Hydreigon literally flies around with 3 freaking heads and just charges at people, like, eating them. Like, dude, I'm the kind of Pokemon trainer that would have all these Pokemon that people would just be scared of. Because, A, they're really good, and B, they look scary. Like, that's the kind of Pokemon trainer that I am, as you'll notice. Like, there are very few Pokemon that are in this top 10 that you would be like, oh, they're cute or whatever. No, I'm the type of Pokemon trainer who will use my Pokemon and their strength to strike fear into the hearts of my opponent. Like, that's what I do. That's the kind of, and Jordan, aka Salamaster 2018, he will attest to this. Everything that I base on and the way I battle is scare tactics. You don't know what I'm going to do, because I have all these options, and it's hard to predict. That's the kind of trainer I am. I like to cover all the areas that I can, while scaring you, because you don't know what to do. That's what I pride myself on. That's the kind of trainer I am. I'm the kind of trainer that sits there and just scares you. Number 4. Now, I've said this in videos before as well. My favorite fire type is a 3-way tie between my favorite 3 starters of fire type. Like I said, it depends on my mood which are my favorites. Now, Infernabe, you know, from the draft review video, unfortunately, I did not get Gohan on my team. I already had a bunch of fire types, and I had already taken a fighting type, I do believe, at that time as well. But I would have loved to have Gohan. Every time, even though I like Torterra and Empoleon's okay, I always choose Infernabe because, in my opinion, he's just the best out of those three. And then Blaziken. Blaziken is up there. Like, I liked Blaziken, but, like, I didn't initially choose him, and when I kind of hit a rough spot, I ended up going with Blaziken, and he carried me through the game. But that was when I originally played through 3rd gen. I wasn't that good, and I had only gotten to, I think, like, the 4th or 5th gym, and then I restarted, and Blaziken carried me through, like I said, through the entire game. So, Blaziken, ever since then, has been one of my favorite Pokemon, and then Charizard was the first starter I had. If you guys know anything about me, and Jordan will tell you, he's the same way, dragons are the coolest fucking things ever. Even though Charizard isn't a dragon, he looks like a dragon. Now, Charizard X is a dragon, because he's Fire Dragon. But if I take these two, Y and X, away, Charizard Mega Y and Charizard Mega X away, normal Charizard, you would say, oh, that's a dragon type, because he looks like a dragon. And, you know, what isn't there to like about a dragon? There's a reason I love Skyrim, and that's literally just to see dragons, because dragons are fucking baller. Like, if you were a Pokemon trainer in the Pokemon world, and someone had a dragon on their team, you would run, or you would be scared. You'd be like, oh god, this thing is scary, this thing is crazy strong, what do I do? There's a reason most dragons are in Ubers, OU, or UU. Because they're strong. They hit hard, or they're fast, or they're relatively bulky, and they do their job well. Dragons are... There's a reason they had to give fairy types to create fairy types, because dragons were broken until 6th gen. Like, they were just... Even if you had a steel type, they would just dragon dance, live a hit, and then earthquake your life away. Or Fire Blast or Fire Fang or whatever you away. You couldn't do anything because dragons were that good. So that's why Charizard is there. Blaziken is there for nostalgia and also being really good himself, and Infernabe is there because he's also there for nostalgia. Number 3, you guys already know, we picked him up. I told you guys he was my second favorite starter in the entire game. He's the original starter that I had in Pokemon Ruby version, and he's great. Once again, he is a cool looking Pokemon, and if I had a Mega Sceptile Pokemon or on my Pokemon team, look at him. He looked scary AF. If you saw that motherfucker looking at you like with his back turned to you, and he's looking at you with them angry eyes like he is, you'd be scared for your damn life. And once again, Mega Sceptile is a dragon. Dragons are cool as shit. Dragons are cool as shit. Like, I liked Sceptile, but when Mega Sceptile came out, and I learned that A, he got Lightning Rod, and B, he got the dragon typing, I screamed, because he's my favorite grass type, and then he gets my favorite typing of all time being dragon? What the fuck? Like, oh my god, like, Sceptile, I love you, dude, and I'm so glad and so proud to have you on my team for this season of the OCO. I regretted not picking you up, but I already had enough coverage on my team, and I didn't want to drop anyone last season, so I didn't choose you, and I'm glad that Jordan decided not to franchise you, because I would have cried had I not gotten you, because you're amazing and I love you. Next, we have another 3-way tie, which is between, as I stated earlier, in my opinion, the best, or Nappy would say, the King Nappy would say the worst, but in my opinion, the best evolution in Umbreon. Then we have Flygon, which in my opinion is the best dragon type. And then we have who in my opinion is the best starter, being Greninja. And I know Jordan doesn't like him because he's being a little hipster or something and is like, oh, fuck the Froakie hype. Like, Jordan, you have to admit, Greninja, he's in Ubers for a reason. Protean, Choice Specs, everything dies. Not everything, but almost everything dies because he gets such a wide move pool of moves and abilities. Like, Greninja, you're so good, and you're so cool. Like, if you saw Greninja, you would be like, bro, this thing is like a ninja. He's like gonna come at me like super fast. It's gonna be super scary. Like, what? And then Flygon, if you've ever seen Flygon in the anime, first off, he is so freaking adorable. Flygon wins the cutest dragon competition, because look at him. You want to give him a hug. And his cry in the anime, it's so cute. He's like, fly! It's like, oh, he's so cute. Flygon is so cute. And then Umbreon, Umbreon is adorable as well. Like, I know that picture doesn't show it, but, like, there's fan art that, like, literally makes me, like, my eyes roll into the back of my head, because I'm like, oh my god, he's so adorable. And wow, Umbreon is just eating up those hits every day. Just nom nom. There are very few Pokemon that can one-shot Umbreon, because he just is that bulky, and he'll just be like, nom 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 nom, eat up them hits. I eat them up. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, obviously, we have number one. Like I said, wasn't it obvious? I've stated it multiple times, and he is the mascot for the channel. Metagross is number one. He is my favorite Pokemon. Look at him. Once again, another Pokemon that if you saw Metagross, he would scare your pants off. Look at him. He looks like he wants to eat you. He looks like he wants to punch you in the face. He'll meteor mash you all day, every day. It sucks that he doesn't get Levitate, because in the anime, if you see, which I think his Mega should have gotten Levitate. Even though Tough Claws is a great ability, he should have gotten Levitate, because in the anime, he hardly ever walks on his feet. He jumps up and hovers across, like 1 foot off the ground. He literally hovers. I think that warrants Levitate. Like, Pokemon, like, I get it. You want him to hit a little harder, but Levitate is a better ability for him, because he's plagued. You nerfed Steel types, first of all, by letting Ghost and Dark be now neutral to them instead of resisted. So, I think he warrants, like, Levitate. I mean, Bronzong sucks, but Bronzong gets access to Levitate and Heat Proof, which neutralizes 2 of its weaknesses, which is the argument that some people think that, oh, Bronzong's better. No, he's not. He sucks. Metagross is a better Steel Psychic type. There's a reason he has a Mega. There's a reason he's in OU. There's a reason he was in Ubers for a while. It's because he's better. He hits harder. He has a little bit more bulk. And he's just cooler. He's a pseudo as well. Like, look at him. He's so awesome. He's so awesome. He's great. He is the best Pokemon. I don't care what you say. I don't care. He's the best. There are very few Pokemon that people that like Pokemon that I've seen before that would not be happy to have him on his team. And those are the people that I know that are going to be, and those are people who know what they're talking about. Because people who don't know what they're talking about are people who are only in it for cute Pokemon. Are like, oh, I don't like Metagross. If you know Pokemon, you know that Metagross is a monster. The best character that Pokemon has ever made, being Steven, Champion Steven from 3rd Gen, aka Hoenn, aka Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. Metagross is his ace for a reason, because Metagross is the best. Metagross is literally perfect, and there is nothing that anyone can do or say that will make me think otherwise. He's not banned from, before this season of the VGC, he wasn't banned in tournaments, and there's a reason that many good competitive players consider him to be the best Mega in OU. Because he hits hard, he eats up hits, and he does what he has to secure the victory. And he's a good fear tactic. Because if anyone who knows what they're doing, if Metagross has a super effective move, has the possibility to get a super effective move on a Pokemon that you have, you're going to switch out. Because he'll eat up your hit, and he'll kill you. And he's not all that slow. Even in Mega form, he's not all that slow. Metagross is perfect. He's my favorite. He's the mascot for us, and he is the reason that I won so many games last year. Because I used him, not necessarily in Mega form, but in normal form, as a scare tactic, and people did not know what to do. Metagross is the best. Thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be it for me. This has been Major. I'm out.